Colleagues, teachers, I greet you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. I'm here with you for us to go through some critical issues concerning professional development of teachers. I know so many issues are going on. People are saying a lot of things about CPD programs organized for teachers in Ghana. And I also want to add my voice to bring the facts bare so that we can all understand some of the thoughts behind the professional development of teachers in the country. I am Laurie Sapon, the Deputy Registrar in charge of professional practices of National Teaching Council. And I must say that a lot of thought went into the design of the continuing professional development of teachers framework. You agree with me that over the years we have experienced CPD programs in the form of workshop, insert form, donor partners, NGOs, and other stakeholders. Between 2006 to 2018, we had JICA organizing in-service teacher education training program for teachers in some selected districts. We also have professional development sessions that take place in College of Education every week. They go through the teachers in the College of Education go through professional development programs. UNICEF also have some districts that they support them through GES to organize in-service training to build the capacity of the teachers. Right to Play has also adopted some districts that they provide support through GES to make sure that the teachers have built their capacity, that the teachers in those districts have built their capacity. Similarly, USA has also done the same thing in this. USA selected some districts where it organized training for teachers within those districts as a way of building their capacities. We have CIBA Trust now called CIBA Education and Library Mind, who all work in some areas. But these programs do not cover the entire nation. So the National Teaching Council, when enacted office, also saw the need to organize or to institutionalize professional development program for teachers. Because if you look at the act that established the council, one of the functions of the council in the act, that the act is the council, that NTC, is to develop and promote continuing professional development program for teachers. So in doing so, the council has to put measures in place to make sure that it works effectively. And I want to say that the framework that has been developed by NTC is recognized everywhere in the world. At least those regulatory bodies that I know of have accepted the framework, and they have also made a model of that to also organize CPD training program for their teachers. So if you go online, you see that the National Teaching Council CPD framework is available online, which means that it's accessible to every person, irrespective of where you are, provided you have internet connectivity. This has even made it possible for teachers from Ghana to be accepted globally. We have some people, like one renowned professor called Professor Said in South Africa, who is a lecturer professor in one of the universities. He came to Ghana, he went through our CPD framework and said, hey, Ghana, you are doing well. This is very good. However, he made some few suggestions which we work on. Apart from that, South Africa Commission for Educators, CIS, has also come here to Ghana about 5 times to go through our CPD framework and the material that we have developed to model what we are doing here in Ghana. So this should tell you that Ghana, we are doing well. We have Zambia, Namibia, Lesotho, all coming to Ghana to also have access to our CPD framework, ask questions that they understand, and they are all trying to implement something similar. You can go to online to download the CPD framework for Uganda. It's similar to ours. We have so many countries that have developed and published this, which is not deviated from what we have done. As I mentioned earlier, we also consulted the Nurse and Midwifery Council of Ghana, the Dental and Medical Council. We look at what they have, and that helps us to develop this. Yes. So this is a document, the CPD framework for teachers in Ghana is a document that helps us to organize CPD programs, or that guide the standards. It presents the standards for organizing CPD program for teachers in Ghana. I just mentioned that we considered the Nursing and Midwifery Council CPD framework. You can go Ghana Nursing and Midwifery Council. You can go with the CPD framework, and you see that it is not deviated from what we have. And we have consulted national teaching councils in other parts of the world, as well as teacher service commissions in Africa and beyond. And that has given us a harmonized version of what exists elsewhere. And that's what we call the best practices. When we designed the CPD framework, UNICEF hired consultants in the US to review the CPD framework to meet international best practices. Right to Play was involved in the drafting and couching of the framework. So when everything was done, we invited people in academia, teachers, teacher unions, GS staff, private stakeholders, and NTC staff. And we all met at Sun Lodge Hotel in Tesano. I remember during that day, Mr. Musa, who is now the Secretary General for NATS, was there. Elder Akuforsen of the CCT was there. We have Fandasi from NATS, so NAGRAT was also there. And there were others who were all there. We went through the document. Professor Kankam was there. Kankam is the professor at University of Cape Coast, of University of Education in Winneba. He was there. And he was the CPD committee chairman for National Teaching Council at the time. We went through with the unions asked their questions. We think this should be this way. They made suggestions and other things. At Sun Lodge, we agreed. And when we factored all their input into the document, we sent the document back to the teacher unions to also go through and give us their feedback, which they did. So when they gave us the feedback, that was the validation. It was solely the teacher unions who took the entire document. Then they did issues, observation, and then their recommendation, page by page. They give them to us. And we also effected the changes accordingly. Except where we need clarification, we call them and then we all discuss and agree on. So it was not solely developed by NTC, it was developed by teachers, with teachers and for teachers, because it's teachers who are going to use it. Now, there are some key issues that people have raised, which I also want to react to that. Some are saying that the self-providers program has become compulsory for all teachers. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say that it is not true. Self-provided programs are not compulsory. You can read the CPD framework, pages 33 to 34, and pages 6 and 9. It tells you that teachers have the right to negotiate for the kind of CPD program they want to attend and how much they want to pay. So it's never true that CPDs are compulsory for teachers. Read the framework. It is online, and you see it. Some are also saying that when we go for further studies, they don't award points to that. If you go to the original CPD framework that we developed, which is online, it recognizes further studies and award CPD point for that. You can read from the CPD framework, the one that's online now, page 21, the second column, and row 1. It makes provision for that. Some are saying that there's no law supporting CPD point building. But I want to say that if you go to the Act 1023, the Act requires NTC to develop and promote teacher education, that the continued teacher education program. And if we are to promoting means that put certain measures in place to make CPD attractive, legitimate enough. To make it something that teachers will buy into. So the point-based building is one of the motivating factors that we put in place. The Act also goes on to also enjoin the council to develop modalities for teacher continuing education. And we feel that point-based system can be a modality that will help teachers to also be attracted to CPD trainings. The reason why some are fighting here is that they think that they are losing points because they've not accessed any training program. That's why they are fighting. Otherwise, the Act is clear that the council should promote. And by promoting, you have to put your promotion mechanism in place. To design modality, and by design modality, you have to put your structures in place. And as it is practiced elsewhere, the point-based system is not only for teachers in Ghana. Even nursing in Ghana, they also build points. The nursing that you are referring to, they also build points. If you go to other organizations, other professional bodies, some also build points. And so you can read from the Act 1023, Section 60K and P, where the council derives its power from. Because the P says that the council can also put measures in place that will help us. Is there an omnibus clause which says that anything that is detrimental to the work that the council is doing, the council can go ahead and do it. So CPD point base has been tied to the CPD program as a way of motivating the teachers because it is incidental to the work of the council. And as I mentioned, Section 83, 2, D and E also allow the council to develop the point-based system to help teachers. Your collective bargaining agreement is saying that the teachers should be paid professional development allowance, and this allowance shall be used to assess CPD programs to count as eligibility for their promotions. To count as eligibility for their promotion. How can CPD program count as eligibility for your promotion? That is why we have system in place to build up the points or to accumulate the points that you are building. So that when you want to go for promotion, we will look and say, or the employer will look and say that, yes, you are meeting the requisite points. And this is what we call the point build-up. If there's no point build-up, how can you count the CPD training program as requirement for your promotion? It's something we need to look at. Some are also saying that there shouldn't be any charge for CPD training. But if there shouldn't be charged for any CPD training programs, then why did you say that you want to go for government should pay you professional development allowance? What do you need that allowance for? Professional development allowance. It means that you need the allowance to develop yourself professionally. And that is why we have put system in place for you. So at least you can spend some of the professional development allowance to get evidence to justify the claim of the allowance. If teachers do not want to pay for CPD training program, why would they, or how would they provide evidence for utilization of the professional grant allowance? Give me money for me to go attend CPD training programs. Then the end of the day, you're saying that you attend a CPD program, but you don't want to pay. So how do you provide the evidence? And if you want to go to a collective bargaining document or the collective bargaining agreement document, section 16, it can go there that the government shall pay so as professional development allowance for teaching professionals. Then it goes on to say that allowance shall be used to assess CPD trainings, which will count as a requirement for teachers promotion. So it means that the money that you are taking, you have agreed to use it for professional development training programs. So if you come back here and say that you don't want to pay for CPD training programs and you are fighting, I think something is not going well. So some houses and self-provided training don't address teachers' needs. But when we go to the framework, pages 33 and 34, or page 8, require the teacher to negotiate for the trainings that they access from the service providers. So as part of your negotiation criteria, you should look for training, or you should negotiate for training that address your needs. So if you say that they've organized training program for you and that training didn't meet your needs, it means that you didn't negotiate. And the onus lies on the leadership of the unions to negotiate. It lies on the teachers in a particular geographical area to negotiate so that you get value for money. In addition to what NTC is also doing as a routine compliance check. We also have some who are saying that some of the CPD training programs are not different from what we learned in the teacher training institute back at the college or in the university. But these people have forgotten that CPD training programs can also come as a refresher training program. Sometimes the program that we receive sharpens us as teachers so that we can have refresh and renew competencies, which will help us to operate effectively. Some of us have completed teacher training program for about 10, 15 years now. We have not accessed any CPD training program. Even if the curriculum has changed, if there's an innovation in the curriculum, we wouldn't know. We'll be doing the same thing. But periodic update of knowledge can help teachers to also enhance their competencies. If you read the publication by OECD 2020, it says that continuous development programs refreshes teachers, their teacher competencies. So with this, what I want to say is that there are so many issues that have been raised by people on other social media platforms that are not accurate. If you want any information, cross-check from the CPD framework before you move on. Thank you very much.